And in fact, it does sound like that is what the Warriors are going to do. 2 tribute videos for KD. I'm thrilled to welcome in NBA reporter Malika Andrews covering the Nets this season. Malika, what is the vibe around KD and the Nets as they prepare for this showdown? Because Kevin got to come back to practice today, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Rachel. It seems like Kevin is ready to move past the saga, the yo-yoing of being in the lineup and out of the lineup and left, right, and center against the Toronto Raptors. And he said, you heard it, he is just ready to play at this point. So they're happy to welcome back Kevin Durant. They know that they have not had a complete team for very much of this season. The big three have not had all that much time on the court to gel. And so they're looking forward to being able to build on that over the course of this road trip, starting on Saturday against the Golden State Warriors. Kevin Durant seemed to share the same sentiment as Draymond Green. It won't be the same going back without fans. We've already played them once in a fanless building, even though that was in Barclays Center, but it'll still be nice to be back in the Bay Area and to see his old teammates.
Yeah, I agree. I think he'll enjoy seeing his old teammates, and it's not going to have the same effect going back. He's still going to go back, and he's going to go off and score at will like he's done. I'm sure he's just, like I said, he's happy to be back on the basketball court and play basketball with his guys, and they're trying to tune up to get ready for a playoff run. So every minute, every game that they play together matters. So this is another game that matters to them.
For sure.
I think it's awesome to hear Draymond talk about KD like that, because you remember that shouting match they had on the sidelines against the Clippers. People always remember that, rightly or wrongly, as sort of the beginning of the end of KD in Golden State. But he's right. They won big together. They made a historical juggernaut together, 2-time Finals MVP. It should be a just easy video tribute, honor, standing ovation, all that. And as far as what KD will do, he's been arguably the best player in the league this season. He's one of the greatest players of all time. He's still at the peak of his powers after an Achilles tear, which is crazy. And I just can't wait to see, as Malika said, the big three of the Nets have only played about 150 minutes together, and they've come in between games where Kyrie's out, KD's out, James is out. There's going to be a game, and maybe it's the Warriors game, where everything comes together, they defend a little bit better, and we all look around at each other and say, uh-oh, this team looks completely unguardable. It's coming, and they'll get better as the season goes.
Yeah, and it's interesting. DeAndre Jordan is not going to play in that game tomorrow night. He is going to be out for personal reasons. Of course, we know the Warriors don't have a healthy center right now either. So I expect to see a different kind of matchup on the court tomorrow. And Malika, the fact that they did play this last week without KD, did that teach the Nets anything about what they need to do going forward?
Well, I think what they need to work on going forward, Rachel, is just so clear. Everybody on this panel knows it. Everyone within the Nets organization knows it, that with or without Kevin Durant, they knew that defense is where they're going to be zeroing in on over the course of this road trip, over the course of this season. And Steve Nash has said many times, Kevin Durant is our best defender. So perhaps that was exacerbated a little bit with him being out of the lineup, those glaring problems that they had on defense, especially in that game against Detroit. That's one that Kevin Durant mentioned specifically in his availability today when he said what he was looking forward to on this road trip was to be building defensively. But this is a team that is going to test the question of whether or not you need to have a top 10 defense in order to win a championship. That's their goal. We've heard James Harden say it to you. We've heard the Nets say it over and over again this season. The Warriors were able to do it when they finished 11th in the 17-18 season in their dynasty, and the Lakers were able to do it in the 2000-2001 season before that, but no team in between. So that's what the question is going to be for this Nets team. How good does their defense need to be in order to reach that goal of winning a championship? Because offensively, they're golden.
Yeah, I think 10th, 11th is going to be good enough given how good their offense is. And like I said before, the 2016 Cavs and the 2017 Cavs that were a championship caliber team, that's the model for the Nets as well. It's the same thing, but I'll go a step further than Steve Nash. Kevin Durant is by far Brooklyn's best defender. And yes, this is their biggest challenge of the season. They're switching a lot, okay? They're switching a lot, which is how Harden played in Houston. But Houston's teams are a reminder. Like, you can switch because it's convenient and easy, and you can also switch when your whole team buys into it, practices it, works on it, and that was the best Rockets team in 2018 that really bought into that. Kyrie Irving is not a natural switch guy because he's going to get pounded by big guys down low, and we've seen the Nets try to rescue him out of those matchups with other switches going around it. That stuff just takes buy-in, it takes practice, and to me the question for the Nets is, are you switching because it's easy and convenient and what you want to do, or are you switching because you're going to really buy into it and get great at it? Because if they go that route, they can win the championship.
Well, Zach, I'll say to this about the Kyrie Irving situation. Well, you can switch 2 through 5 because if you don't have a DeAndre Jordan or a big, you're probably going to see Jeff Green playing the 5 and sometimes Harden playing the 4 or Kevin Durant playing the 5 or 4. So you can switch 2 through 5 and just show, hedge, or whatever you choose to do to keep Kyrie or Irving on small guys or the smallest guy on the floor. So like I said, if they buy in defensively, you don't want to get into a scoring competition with the Nets. So defensively for them, they're going to have to lock down teams and keep teams under their average.
Yeah, it's going to be so interesting. James Harden, as you heard at the top of the segment there, said, I just think we have to be good. We don't have to be great, but we definitely have to be good. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.